CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Ann has the day off. We begin with some breaking news. San Jose police have announced the arrest of a suspect in Friday's shooting at Valley Fair Mall. SJPD released this photo of the suspect in handcuffs last night, but have not released his name or age. The shooting happened just before 6 on Friday evening while the mall was crowded with Black Friday shoppers. 3 people were injured, including a 16-year-old girl. Witnesses say the shooting caused quite the panic.
Babies crying, people running, just chaos, people tripping, falling.
Police said the shooting was gang-motivated and that the suspect argued with one of the victims before opening fire. The other 2 victims were hit by stray bullets. All 3 of them are expected to survive. San Jose police are expected to release more information in a news conference this afternoon. We'll have the very latest this evening during our 5 p.m. broadcast. Well, police are still searching for the gunman or gunmen involved in a weekend mass shooting at a child's birthday party in Stockton. 15 people were shot Saturday evening and 4 people, including 3 children, were killed. Police say that most of the victims were children. Connor McGill has the latest on the investigation.
As the sun comes up here in Stockton, a community in mourning after a mass shooting erupted just behind me over the weekend. All that's left here at the scene is a makeshift memorial honoring the 4 lives lost and the 11 people injured over the weekend. The San Joaquin County Sheriff held a press conference yesterday laying out new details about the investigation. They say they've been working around the clock to identify who was responsible. Detectives believe there may have been multiple shooters. City leaders say they're fed up and calling on those involved to come forward.
Parents brought their children out and they left with medical examiners. Right. That is not human. Turn yourself in, because at some point the redemption for what you did is going to happen when you see the person that created you.
We know that the Sheriff's Department towed several cars with bullet holes from the scene and recovered firearms from the roof of that banquet hall, but it's still not clear whether those guns are connected. The San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office tells us no press conference will be held today, meaning the search for answers will have to wait.
And investigators say it appears the shooting began inside the building, then moved outside. Right now, authorities do not have any details about any suspects. Well, happening today, major changes in San Francisco's Sunset District along a busy traffic corridor. Caltrans crews started a months-long repaving project that will impact 6 lanes of 19th Avenue. Kevin Coe gives us a look at what commuters can expect and how to plan for delays.
Starting today, 19th Avenue will be looking a whole lot different for about a year. Take a look right behind me. Caltrans crews are currently repaving parking strips, working their way block by block further north. The first step in a 2-phase project that will cause delays.
It will be a mess.
Phase 1 of the 19th Avenue Rehabilitation Project is officially here. All 6 lanes of State Route 1 between Lincoln Way and Holloway Avenue will be repaved, along with the intersections of 19th Avenue, Park Presidio Boulevard, and California Street. Rich Blake lives just down the road from where the construction began Monday.
It'll congest the neighborhood and other routes to get to where we're going. So we haven't quite figured that out.
The good news for Rich, he has some time to figure it out. For the next few months, you can expect more of what you're seeing here. Crews will be repaving parking strips on the right lanes of 19th Avenue, shutting down 1 lane. Then Phase 2 begins, restricting each direction of 19th Avenue to just 1 lane. Expected delays and logistical debates aside, Rich says the work should be done.
You say you take 19th a lot. Does it need repavement?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of potholes on 19th, and sometimes it hits you with a jolt. So no, they need to do it. It's a very important thoroughfare. Mm-hmm. So, but 4 lanes is a lot.
Crews will be working weekdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., but Caltrans says drivers should expect delays up until 7 at night. With 19th Avenue being one of the city's busiest north to south routes, drivers worry what the restricted pathways will bring to their neighborhoods.
We've already lost the Great Highway which is a sore subject. We're 30 blocks from the beach, so there's 30 blocks of houses, of people, that are now going to have to use Sunset Boulevard. So it'll be interesting what Sunset Boulevard will, what that will look like.
Some bus stops may be relocated as well. Caltrans says it will release more information as it's available when we're closer to phase 2 and more lane reductions.
Also happening less than an hour in the Sunset District, San Francisco's Sunset District will get its third supervisor in less than 3 months. Mayor Daniel Lurie will swear in Alan Wong at 1 p.m. at Lincoln High School. Wong is a City College Board of Trustee, first lieutenant in the National Guard, and a longtime Sunset resident. He will replace Isabella Alcaraz, who abruptly stepped down last month over tax evasion allegations. And for those who live in the city's District 4, it's been a tumultuous few months. In September, voters recalled Supervisor Joel Engardio over his support of the closing of the Great Highway to open a park. Now neighbors are waiting for Wong to take the stance on that issue and Mayor Lurie's family zoning plan.
I'm looking forward to someone who can really prioritize the concerns of this neighborhood, which are, there's a lot of really pressing things the Sunset wants to see moving forward.
Again, the swearing-in ceremony is happening at 1 p.m. We'll have much more coming up in our evening newscast. Okay, beautiful weather for our first day of December. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch about what we can expect for the rest of the weekend. Jess, it's been sunny, blue skies, a little foggy in the morning, but one thing I noticed, it is chilly when you go out for a run.
I know. That morning run must be brutal. That's why you wait till the afternoon. And even into the afternoon hours, it's still cool. You take a look outside today. Let's zoom in all the way over into the East Bay, specifically Antioch. Take a look at these numbers. We're talking about 50s in places like Concord, Antioch, Livermore, close to the 40s, similar to what we were just dealing with earlier this morning, actually, for our early morning hours. Daytime highs all the way up into the Santa Rosa region, stretched down into the Golden Gate Bridge, past that into San Francisco, and along 101 into the Santa Clara Valley are all hand in hand sitting in the 50s. So it's important to note this is the time of year where we all bundle up as temperatures are all kind of hand in hand. A couple things I want to break apart real fast. You see that blue on this map along our coastline? Not a shocker, but it's another day where we have that beach hazard statement. Rip currents are possible, sneaker waves are possible, waves anywhere up to around 10 to 14 feet high are expected today along our shoreline, so be very cautious out there. You see all that green behind me on the map too? That is a coastal flood advisory that's going to start tomorrow afternoon, and I want to talk more about that coming up in just a bit, but for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, a heads up for EV drivers. The Clean Air Vehicle program has come to an end. The statewide incentive allowed solo EV drivers to freely drive in the carpool lane. It officially expired in October after the Trump administration declined to renew a federal law that allowed that program. But drivers were given a 60-day grace period. That is over now. Now enforcement has begun with fines costing nearly $500. And today is World AIDS Day, and Oakland's first AIDS Memorial Garden is taking root at Lake Merritt. The Memorial Garden, like the surrounding lakeside gardens, will be maintained by volunteers, with dozens of groups already stepping in to help build and care for that space.
There's probably about 120 individuals that are volunteering at any given time, but we bring in corporate groups, affinity groups, school groups. Okay. It's a whole community effort.
Organizers hope the garden becomes both a memorial and a space for healing. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News, Bay Area new questions about the strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean Sea, as President Trump tells airlines to steer clear of Venezuelan airspace. And the Niners are going into the bye week with another win. A look at how they beat the Cold and the Browns when we return. And here's a live look outside before we head to the break. Beautiful shot of the city skyline, the photo bomb there by the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, lawmakers are demanding answers about the legality of U.S. strikes on alleged Venezuelan drug boats. Now, as Olivia Rinaldi reports from the White House, President Trump is considering options beyond boat strikes.
The U.S. military has carried out nearly 24 airstrikes and killed more than 80 people on alleged drug boats near Venezuela. But now the first strike, on September 2nd, is raising new questions. The Washington Post first reported that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal order to kill everybody on board. When 2 survived, the Special Operations Commander overseeing the attack ordered a second strike to comply with Hegseth's instructions, and the 2 men were blown apart in the water.
Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
Lawmakers are demanding answers, with the Republican-led House and Senate Armed Services Committees announcing investigations into the attack.
If it was as if the article said, that is a violation of the law of war.
This rises to the level of a war crime if it's true.
Now, Hegseth and other top deputies are expected to come to the White House this afternoon for a meeting with President Trump as he considers next steps with Venezuela. This weekend, President Trump ratcheted up pressure on Venezuela, which he says is controlled by drug cartels, posting on social media that airlines and pilots should consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety.
We consider Venezuela to be not a very friendly country.
This comes as the U.S. continues its military buildup in the Caribbean, with fighter squadrons and even a U.S. aircraft carrier now patrolling the area.
And CBS News has reported the president has presented plans to carry out strikes on land in Venezuela, but he would not say whether his post about Venezuelan airspace being closed for was a sign of future airstrikes. He told the press not to read too much into it. Okay, back to our first alert weather right now. Let's give you another live look outside. This is from Mount Diablo, looking back toward the East Bay. And you can see, while you might have some blue skies and sunshine in some areas, well, it is foggy and kind of socked in with that gray. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Burt. So, Jess.
All right, Ryan, let's take a quick look outside real fast, because as we head into the next 24 hours, we're going to see small day-to-day changes, similar to what we've been dealing with recently. Over the weekend, it was cool, it was mild, but hey, at least it was dry, which was perfect for all of that after Thanksgiving travel, right? It was actually beautiful for us here in the Bay Area, feeling very winter-like, but we talked about this earlier. Still along our coast, we're dealing with that beach hazard statement with waves anywhere up to around 14 feet high, so be careful along the coast. Now, a few times a year, we get the king tides. That's when the earth, the moon, the sun, they all align, and that gravitational pull really impacts our oceans here in the Bay Area, and of course, just widespread throughout our whole California coastline. We're definitely going to be noticing some higher tides and coastal flooding as possible. So that's what that green color is behind me right now. That starts tomorrow. That's going to last throughout this whole week's forecast until Sunday. Something important to note. Now, as for daytime highs all around me, you're pretty much seeing 50s and 60s in sight for us. It is a cool day for us today. We're not going to see too much changes as we head into the next couple days. If anything, just a little bit warmer, but not by much. Now, into the early morning hours we go. Earlier this morning, that Thule fog out just along the Sacramento Valley, it was so thick. It was pushing into the Delta, kind of like what we saw over Thanksgiving weekend. That's going to clear up into this afternoon, but we are going to see a repeat of that once again tomorrow morning as that valley of fog fills it once again. It's going to bleed over into the Bay Area as we wake up early in the morning hours, so just be very careful with that too, especially for that surface visibility. We take a look at the next 7 days. It's pretty mild for us and no bad news in store for us at all. I mean, it's dry, unlike the past few weeks where we have been seeing on and off heavy showers in the forecast. We're getting this nice dry stretch as we kick off the month of December. Upper 50s and lower 60s are flirting back and forth with each other each day. We'll see some sunshine peep through as we head into our Friday forecast, and all the way over into the Bay and our inland spots we go. There's not too much of a change really when it comes to these daytime highs. Relatively mild, partly cloudy skies. We'll see sunnier conditions kicking off this weekend, but still cool and chilly, so make sure you have that jacket ready to go. For now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Well, the Niners are riding high heading into their bye week after Sunday's big win against the Browns. Matt Lively has the latest and the highlights from Cleveland in today's Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Cleveland is home to the dog pound, and if that's the case, the 49ers put the Browns on a leash all game long here in Week 13 to improve to 9-4.
Brock said it right before we left to come out here, man. He feels like football starts after Thanksgiving, so we got to play our best ball in these last few games.
The morale is just different. You can see it. We got guys on this team that know what last year felt like, and now we know what's at stake this year.
Looking from the outside in, if people would have said, hey, you guys are going to be 9-4 going into the bye, and you're not going to have Fred Warner or Nick Bosa, and Kittle's going to miss the first 5 weeks, and Brock's going to miss 6-7 games, I think a lot of people would have laughed at everybody.
The Niners lucked out with the weather. Yeah, it felt like 19 degrees here at kickoff, but they avoided rain or snow, and you could say that some 49ers players like the frigid temps more than others.
You know, I'm from Arizona, played in Florida, so, you know, it was pretty chilly for me, but, you know, as far as playing, like, I like actually playing in cold weather like this. It makes it feel like you can run forever.
Hey, most importantly, you stay warm today?
All day long, you know it.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
And coming up on the afternoon edition, online retailers are seeing green this Cyber Monday. How much money they're expecting to bring in as people cash in on those big deals. Well, Black Friday sales beat expectations over Thanksgiving weekend. Overall sales jumped more than 4%, with online spending hitting a record $11.8 billion. Americans spent big on the higher ticket items with steep discounts, and buy now, pay later usage was up 9% compared to last year. And today is Cyber Monday. Analysts expect another big surge, with sales projected to reach $14.2 billion.
It's all about electronics and tech.
Okay.
Check out the big retailers like Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, Target. Also check for some items that maybe you had in your cart, because some places are going to offer even further discounts.
Experts say if you're opting for buy now, pay later, make sure you can actually pay off the item and make those payment deadlines before you make the purchase. Every holiday season, CBS News Bay Area teams up with local food banks to help ensure no one goes hungry. Food insecurity is growing in the Bay Area. More families are struggling to make ends meet. That's where food banks like Redwood Empire come in to close the gap, but they can't do it alone. They rely on help from people like you at home and grants from organizations like the Gilead Foundation.
Our goal is to address those wraparound needs as the Gilead Foundation. And we know that food plays a critical role in health. And so our focus on this program is really about partnering with these food banks to meet the needs of the community members where we have Gilead employees living and working.
Well, this partnership helps Redwood Empire Food Bank respond to increasing demand, especially among families who rely on school and community-based food programs. And you can find ways to give back in your community by scanning the QR code on your screen, or just head to kpix.com/give. And also be sure to join us for our holiday special airing Christmas night at 7 p.m. You can see the inspiring stories behind the effort to feed families all across the Bay Area. Still ahead on the afternoon edition, you'll be happy to see the singer again. The NFL announcing who will be singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl, and more coming up. Well, the NFL just revealed the new performers who will take the mic for the big game in Santa Clara.
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
Pop star Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem at Super Bowl 60 in February at Levi Stadium. He is the voice behind hits like See You Again and One Call Away. Two other singers were also announced. Brandi Carlile will sing America the Beautiful, and Coco Jones will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. Well, that's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Hope you have a great afternoon.